Hello, 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 everyone. This is Dr. Monica coming to you live from Deep Rooted Health and Wellness Med Spa. Happy Talk Ed Tuesday. I missed you all. I'm always happy to get back on and see everyone and share what I call the good news. Talk Ed Tuesday is dedicated to a subject matter for the month. And this month, it is exploring ways to bounce back from stress and adversity. I know we can all relate to stress and adversity, but how do we bounce back from that? This is National Stress Awareness Month. So, what better time to talk about getting through and over the adversities that have come our way? And in the last few years, it's been a lot. It's been a lot, but we can get through it because we are here. I am super excited tonight because we are sharing the good news with a friend, with a colleague of mine, and I'm super excited to share her with you. I want to introduce to my audience and to her audience because I know that there's probably a lot of people joining in who have joined in to see and hear her. So I'm going to bring on stage Miss Rochelle Hall. Rochelle, good. How are you tonight? Thank you so
I'm doing great.
thank you so much for joining me tonight. Are you ready for this conversation?
I am. I've been looking forward to this one. Thank you so much for having me.
It is my pleasure. It is my pleasure. So tonight we are talking about ways to bounce back from stress and adversity. And I want to give an introduction of who you are because this topic came up, I knew that you were the perfect person to bring on board to have this conversation with. Let me tell you all a little bit about my friend Rochelle. Rochelle Hall is an integrative nutrition and holistic wellness coach specializing in guiding purpose driven women towards balanced, vibrant, and fulfilling lives. Her journey into holistic wellness began in her teens, spurred by personal health challenges with endometriosis. And I know you all out there can relate to that. Years of pursuing healing led to a deep appreciation for the transformative power of a holistic approach to wellness. Her personal health journey is a testament to her belief in the effectiveness of holistic practices, and her commitment to wellness exploration embodies a lifelong dedication to vibrant health. After obtaining her certification from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition in March of 2021, Rochelle redirected her focus to wellness coaching, having initially explored juicing, which we definitely need to talk about. She now educates, empowers, and equips women with tools for health transformation. Now, Rochelle is an author. She's an author of an I Am Woman. Unleash Your Inner Warrior. It's an empowerment coloring book designed exclusively for women, self-discovery, empowerment, and transformation. This is a therapeutic coloring book spanning 100 pages of inspiration, invites women to connect with their inner warrior and celebrate the qualities that define them as strong and fearless. You guys, welcome to the stage, Rochelle Hall, and my friend, my soror, and my colleague, fellow entrepreneur. Oh, it's a pleasure to have you here in this conversation tonight. Thanks for coming.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Rochelle, when I approached you about this conversation of bouncing back from stress and adversity, why was it something that you wanted to be here for?
Definitely, it's something, Dr. Monica, that I have had to deal with in my own life. And I like to tell my clients that my health journey has not been perfect. I've had to experience burnout, to the point of being in the hospital for me to gain some conviction about taking better care of myself. And so I feel it's part of my purpose to share with women because we push ourselves so hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true. It's so true. And a lot of times we feel like we're on this journey alone.
Yeah.
That's just so it's far no far. It's so far from the truth because everybody has something that they're overcoming or they have overcome. I was sharing with my own daughter this week that how important it is in your 20s to get through all the things that life throws at you.
Yeah.
Not because getting through those things is like the hurdle of life,
Yeah.
but you're building the muscles because there's always going to be
Right.
something to get through. So
Absolutely.
the muscles that you build, even when you're younger, but especially as you go through your 20s, are the ones that you use in your 30s,
Mm.
are the ones that you use in your 50s, and that you rely on as you move forward into your 50s and further. Because that resilience is kind of what allows us to still be standing in the midst of all the things that we've been through. Um,
Right.
and so that's why this conversation is so very important, I think.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, the younger we can hear this message, the better. I wish I had known, oh, Rochelle, take better care of yourself. I ate whatever I wanted, when I wanted, and I did whatever I wanted, and wasn't always the best thing for my body.
right.
So, and you know what? When you think about our parents and their parents and how hard they worked, I mean, that was their thing. We push and push, right? We're survivors. We do whatever it takes. But sometimes that has a physical and a mental and emotional impact on the body.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's such a good point because it's so important that we understand that these are having not only like getting through it is like a win, but it's having a toll. Like it's having a toll on our body. And if you do any kind of research in this area, this stress actually can be passed on genetically. And so we have to learn how to break um, these habits of taking on too much stress as if it is a badge of honor to like pile more on without dealing with it,
Yeah.
because we are absolutely changing how our bodies are forming. We're changing how our bodies are um, aging,
Hmm.
and we're also changing when we're in these stages of stress and we're childbearing. We're changing how the life that's forming inside of us is developing and what it develops because of the chemical changes that flow through us still flow through that baby as well. So stress is
Absolutely.
really important. Stress is really important. And
It
the
is.
sooner we learn about it, the sooner we can learn not to ignore it and we can learn how to manage it and deal with it. So we're going to talk about it.
Absolutely. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So, there's two different areas that we talk about in this title tonight, and one of those areas is stress. The other of those areas is adversity.
Yeah.
So, because stress is a couple of things. Stress can be good, and stress can be bad. So,
Mhm.
what's good stress? A good stress is graduating from college, graduating from high school. For teens, that can be stressful. Graduating from graduate school. Um, Getting married, these are all positive things that we count in our lives, but they can take a hit. They can be really hard. So there's good stress, and then obviously there's bad stress. Death, of family members, death of
Mm.
children, death of spouse, parents aging, losing jobs, um, becoming an entrepreneur, trying to
Mm.
trying to make money, trying to survive. Excuse me, trying to survive. These are stresses that we don't like to call what they are, but the truth of the matter is they can be changing in so many fashions that sometimes you want to give up. You can
Yeah,
relate to that, I'm sure. Um,
I certainly can.
I, I think that adversity and stress can be, two different things because adversity, um, I don't think it's ever talked about in a positive way.
Yeah.
So from a standpoint of adversity, what is the impact of adversity on us physically and psychologically?
Mm.
In your work that you have been doing, um, what have you seen as the biggest impacts in women's lives for like the physiological or the psychological effects of adversity, of things that people have gone through? Um,
Yeah.
what have you seen?
I think the biggest thing that I've seen is the how it starts with that, but how it kind of manifests in the body and turns into dis-ease, like the physical part, right?
Mhm.
Like it starts with physiology, but then, that's just planting the seed for other things to happen in the body.
Mhm.
I know some of the women that I work with, they deal with lack of self-worth because
Mhm.
they don't feel like they can, like they're less of a woman. They can't, meet the needs, or, we compare ourselves to other people. And sometimes when we need a break, we feel a little bit guilty, about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can show up as depression. When you're not understanding the things that are going on with your body because of the impact of adversity and stress, it can lead you down a path where you talked about loneliness and feeling alone and feeling like there's no hope as well. So it can come out in the body in so many different ways.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Depression
Yeah.
is such a common word that we throw around, but it is probably even more common than what people actually, when people actually, claim it,
Yeah.
especially in our community, minority communities, African American communities specifically, but minority communities across, the country really don't like to talk about depression and don't like to admit to it. We're seeing more suicide and people taking their lives, not just young people, but people of all ages, people
Mhm.
with smiles on their faces
Yeah.
because of dealing with levels of adversity, that just not knowing what to do with those levels of adversity.
Mhm.
So, depression is really, really important to acknowledge. Um, and it's not so much just calling it a name, but identifying what it is. Because
Yeah.
in my work, I see that depression can show itself in many different ways. Depression can show itself as sadness, but depression can also show itself as anger.
Yes.
And so sometimes we mistake someone's anger
Mhm.
as them having a problem, or they're hard to difficult to deal with,
Yeah.
but really they're depressed. And it's because they are trying, don't know what to do with all of the feelings of confusion and not having the answer, and having to not understand what to do with the adversity that they're going through.
Right.
Communication skills, the ability to communicate how
Mhm.
you're feeling, what you're going through in a time of adversity is key. Um,
Mhm.
and identifying those things, identifying a person who is going through adversity can be the difference between, them getting help and them not getting help.
Right.
In the work that you do with your clients, tell me what kind of clients would you be working with that would be dealing with adversity, and what would be your ideal client that would come to you, and what would they be looking for?
I would say, as you read in my bio, purpose driven women, we carry a lot. And, sometimes in our roles, we come against adversity, right? It's not always smooth. There are things, even in relationships, that can
Right.
be a really difficult one.
Mhm.
And what they are looking for mostly is, how can I disconnect from it? That kind of energy gets you all jacked up, right? So it's how do I, you know, sometimes you just have to separate yourself and learn how to deal with, relationships or the adversity, so it's a coaching of, we're talking it through, but we're journaling,
Okay.
we're practicing sitting with those thoughts and the things that are coming to mind when that adversity hits, and then making a decision about how you're going to deal with it, because in every situation we have a choice,
Yes,
right? But
absolutely.
sometimes we react before we have actually had a chance to process. And so I can help with, let's process,
Yeah.
and that could be through practicing mindfulness. It could be through journaling, any number of things to help with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The process is what we miss. The processing, the
We don't
things
want to.
that we
We don't
miss.
want to do the process. We
We
want to
don't,
skip the
that's
process.
the hard stuff. It hurts sometimes. Nobody, they
It
like, can I just
does.
do that part? Can I just get to the other side of this?
Oh my goodness, you are so right. But that's where the real work is, and that's where the healing comes.
That's where the healing
It's in the
comes.
process.
The
Absolutely.
healing is in the through, not the
Yeah,
over.
got to go through it.
You got to go through it. You got
Got
to go through it.
yeah.
I often, talk to people about not skipping
Yeah,
through, skipping over it, because guess what? That's where the learning happens as well. Because
absolutely.
if you don't, you're repeating it over and over again.
Over and over.
How many, how many times do we keep going? We have to keep doing things, and
Right.
we all do. It's like, I don't want to do
They
this no
call
more.
that insanity or something like that.
I don't want to do this no more. And
Just
it's like,
don't do it. Learn
yeah,
the lesson. Learn the lesson.
learn the lesson, and you don't go through it anymore. But it's easier said than done. And we laugh
It
about it. Like,
is.
we all do this. We all do this.
Mm-hmm.
We continue, and that's what we're talking about. If this is not a 20-something problem, this is not a 30-something problem, this is not a 40-something problem. We continue to do this until we understand
Mm-hmm.
or overstand that we are in a process all the time of
Yeah.
getting to a better place, getting
Right.
it's not a destination. It is the process of going through this. What we're doing, right?
It's our journey. Yeah, it's how we look at it, right? Like we are the potter's clay. We're
Mhm.
constantly being molded and shaped. And with women,
That-
we have these seasons of life. So what worked for us as a teenager and through our 30s, you hit your 50s, is a whole different set of things, that you're learning. So I feel like we're always evolving. We're
Absolutely,
always evolving. Like, I don't think we ever truly arrive, but we learn lessons as we go, right?
absolutely,
We hit those milestones and we should celebrate those milestones, but be ready to grow more once we hit a milestone.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So that brings us to that bounce back. I
Mm,
bounce back, right? The topic of our title today is, exploring ways to bounce back. And so,
mm.
what when you think about bounce back, I think about resilience.
Yes.
And resilience is, yes, I've been through something, so it's not how many times I fall down, but how do I get up? So when I looked up the definition, when we define what resilience means, it's the capacity
Mm,
to withstand or recover quickly from difficulties, a toughness, if you will, the ability to spring back in shape. And that is the tough part.
mm.
That is the tough part, is to
Yeah.
spring back in shape. This is an emotional topic for me because life ain't been no crystal stairways. And, I really am so grateful that, you don't always look like what you've been through.
Come on.
We don't always look like what we've been through. What I will tell you is that what I've been through has made me a better who I am.
Yeah.
Even though I definitely would not choose to say, let me go through all that stuff again.
Mhm.
But what I will say is that it's made me a better physician. It's made me a better friend. It's made me a better human being because I can empathize with people instead of just sympathizing with people. I absolutely. And I do see some people have signed on. Hey, Miss Letitia. Hey, Miss Joy.
Yeah, I see.
We thank you for joining in tonight, and I appreciate you all for coming in tonight. But yeah, I have absolutely gained so much from what I've been through. That
Yeah.
that capacity to withstand and recover quickly. Now, when we talk about withstanding, I don't want to necessarily leave that as a badge of honor because, as
Mm,
you were saying, we don't need to necessarily always be the toughest all the time.
right.
I think as women, and I'm also going to throw in here as men, because men have a very important role in our society,
Yes.
a very important role in our society. And when we
Mhm.
concern ourselves with why our families are not as strong and staying together is because men have a very important role in our society, and their capacity to stand up under the pressures of all the things that our community goes through.
Yeah.
They have not always had the support they need to stand in those situations.
Right.
And dealing with stress and adversity is a continuum for our
Mhm.
community.
Yeah.
So we want to talk to men as well about their ability to, to not only endure stress,
Yeah.
but to overcome and to
Mhm.
bounce back. And
Yeah.
what kind of tools do you need to do that? So I want to talk about the things that I share with my clients, and some of the
Mhm.
things I share with my clients that are tools that you can always call on. One of the main ones that I use is capturing your thoughts. Capturing your thoughts is a tool in which sometimes we go down a road, and we've been down this road before, and we know that we think how we know it's going to end, and we take ourselves in this tunnel. We take ourselves in this tunnel, and we're like, I know how this is going to end. I
Mhm.
know that this is going to be bad. I know I'm not going to win. I know this is not going to be in my favor. It always ends this way. I always end up not winning the game. I always end up not getting picked. I always end up not making the sale. I always end up failing. And what that is a downhill spiral.
Mhm.
So what I educate my clients on is what we call capturing thoughts.
Yeah.
Now, capturing thoughts means that we are sometimes more comfortable in our negative space than we are in our positive space. And capturing the thought is the process of literally stopping yourself at the point when you know you are about to go down that open the door, much less go down the road, but open the door. You
Mhm.
started that first negative thought, and you say to yourself, stop it. I personally have been in places in my life when I had to literally stop in my tracks walking and be like, stop it. And what you do at that point is you replace that thought with anything good.
Mm.
You stop the brain's
I love it.
way on
Mm.
that thought process, because it is easier for you to go down a road that you're familiar with than it is a road that you're not familiar with. And then if you have been in a negative place for so long, then that's the road that you're familiar with. So we
Mhm.
capture that thought and we replace it with a positive thought. And we keep, I mean, it could be anything as such as, oh, I like ice cream. Oh, I did such a great job yesterday on my report that I did. Oh, it's sunny outside. Like whatever it takes. And that other thought's going to, guess what? It's going to knock again. And you capture it again.
Mhm.
This is an exercise
I
that
love that.
to capture negative thoughts, demon thoughts, and thoughts that make us feel as though we are not worthy of being in our best place. And so, capturing thoughts is one of my major tools that I like to share with patients, my clients who are going through stressful times or have a stressful life in general and feel like they never win.
Mm.
You have anything that you could go to that you like to share with anyone, like your clients when they come to you, that has been helpful for you yourself or for them?
Absolutely, both. Capturing your thoughts is very similar to mindfulness, practicing mindfulness.
Mm,
So with mindfulness, you recognize and acknowledge the thought, right? And you let it go by. So if I'm having a thought of, oh my God, I cannot stand her, or just, whatever.
right, right.
I don't know why that came to my mind, but yeah,
That's
when we have these thoughts, the judgmental, these critiques, those are things we're trying to change to become more positive, right?
right.
Um, so in mindfulness, you question why.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you're asking yourself, hmm, you know, why did I think that about her? Or why do I feel that way?
Mhm.
You're kind of talking it out with yourself. You don't always get the answer right away, but
Right.
when you do that, when you understand and acknowledge, wow, I'm having these thoughts, you get to become familiar with yourself, and you might recognize some patterns, and things that you need to work on. It's like, wow, I can be really critical.
Yes.
Where does that spirit come from? And a lot of times it's because our minds are programmed to respond in a way because of past experiences that we've had.
Absolutely.
Right? And so with mindfulness, we're trying to, okay, this is a totally separate situation, totally different woman, but I still responded this way. And then why?
Yeah.
Right? And then you work from there. You do
Yeah.
the work from there. So very, very similar to capturing your thoughts.
Absolutely. And I love that. We practice mindfulness here. We have a mindfulness coach, Miss Shonda, here. And I think mindfulness is a powerful, powerful tool because it keeps you present. It keeps
Yes.
you present. Um, and it keeps you accountable to yourself.
Yes.
Um, I found myself, it was a few months back, I found myself that although I was acting nice and doing all the right things, in my mind, I was having that same thought that you were talking about with people who just
Oh,
get on my nerves. They were just getting on my nerves. And it was
yeah,
not,
that's real.
that's real. Like it
Hmm.
was not comfortable to me, but it had
Yes.
nothing to do with the people.
Right.
It was stuff I was going through.
Yes.
And so mindfulness is the tool that I use to say, whoa, I don't
Mm.
like myself too much right now.
Yeah.
And getting in touch with the why of the moment of what was really going on with me
Yeah.
allowed me to literally change my mind.
Mm.
And so actions are one thing. To be kind to people is very important. Very,
Right.
but also how you internally feel
Mm.
about things
The
is just
feeling.
as important.
Yes.
Because that's about, yes, because some people can treat people nice and they not really be sincerely sincere
Yep.
about
Yep.
it. When it is in you, when it comes from the inside of you, it
Yeah.
even feels differently to people. But
Yeah.
most importantly, the stress that it relieves in yourself is priceless. It is healing and it is therapeutic. So I love what you said about mindfulness. That is a place of healing, how to heal thyself
Mm-hmm.
in a mindful awareness is an important thing to learn because it teaches you how to take better care of yourself.
Yourself. That's right. And
Yes,
when you do that, you can take better care of other people, right? It
absolutely.
starts with us. We have to water our own hearts, minds, and souls, and then we
Yes,
can show up better for other people.
absolutely. As a therapist, as a counselor, it is absolutely imperative that we are accountable to ourselves, but as
Mm.
human beings, as a mother, as a father, as a brother, as a friend, if
Yeah.
we practice more mindfulness, then we can
Mm.
show up for other people better. I see you, Miss Tamiko, on there. Tamiko says, going through the motions like you're okay.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
How many people in the chat drop a one in the chat if you're ever going through the motions like you're okay, but you're really not. Drop a
Yeah.
one in the chat if you can relate to that. I think
Yeah.
we all can relate to that. And it's important to acknowledge it because that's the first step. Faking it till you make it is important to get through your day, but don't fake it through your life so you can,
Mm.
because it's going to show itself. It's going
Yeah.
to show itself.
Let
Um,
the ch-
there was another thing that had been really helpful. There's a book called The 12-Week Year that was really helpful for me as I am trying to accomplish more because that's part of stress. 12-Week Year is by Brian Moran. And
Mm.
talk about strategies to kind of enhance your resilience. A lot of times, coming up with a routine
Yeah.
can be helpful to make you more resilient because you kind of know what you're doing. Part of stress can be sometimes just not knowing what's going to happen next.
Oh my goodness.
How do I get to the next thing? How do I get through all this thing? My list, I make list and list and list, and how do I get through all of them? And the
Yeah.
truth the matter is, yeah, Joy says a one, Letitia says a one, Tamiko says a one. You know,
Mhm.
I get through all the things, and having a routine of doing things, whether your routine starts with 5 o'clock in the morning, you wake up and you meditate, or you get up and you exercise, like having a routine, and then you know what's next, and you know what's next. And some people would say that that's too structured, but you can have a routine and not be like super structured and like not have any flexibility, because within a
Mhm.
routine there should be some time for some relaxation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think about, some of the moms out there, they're not able to do a morning routine. Like they're up and they're running, they're getting breakfast and getting the kids off to school. But after that, you can take some time to really sit quietly, do some breath work, breathing, just making sure before you start your day, right, that
Yeah.
you're doing something to pour into yourself, and it's going to look different for people. I love getting up and letting the sun hit my face. I like to open the blinds. It's something about the sun for me. I love walking outside barefoot in the grass. It just makes me feel alive,
Absolutely.
and energized, but some people don't do that. I would never do that, but we have to find what works for us, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and I appreciate what you're saying about that. Growing up, and I still do it today. I love having my feet in the grass. I
mm,
I love it. But we
yeah,
were raised in our community, like don't go out. Why are you barefoot? Why are you barefoot? And there
yeah,
are healing properties. It's called grounding. There are
yes,
healing properties with touching your feet to
oh,
the dirt.
yes,
When you
yes,
talk about stress relief, when you want to talk about anxiety relief, there are actual electrical currents that the
yeah,
ground has, that you touch, and that you
hmm,
touch the ground with your bare feet, is a healing property.
yeah,
And so a lot of times the things that have been beaten out of us, talked out of us, were really things that kept us connected to the environment and to our healer, to
yeah,
God,
yeah,
um, that we have gotten away from because they were beaten out of us or cultured out of us.
filtered
That
out of us.
is
Yeah,
anyone who does them as being uncultured, as
yeah,
being refined. But we
mhm,
have to understand that those are the things that healed us. Those are the things that
mm,
actually kept us connected, because
yeah,
that's where stress comes from. The less connected you feel to
yes,
higher power, the more stress will affect you, because you've got nothing to pull on, because you think that you are the end and the beginning of the answer. And
mm-mm,
that's a lot of weight.
yeah,
That's a lot of weight. So
absolutely.
routines are important. Routines in
Mm,
your diet, routines in your exercise, routines such as yoga, Pilates,
mhm,
meditation, as you mentioned, mindfulness practicing, as you mentioned. These are
mm,
things that are therapeutic and can be really helpful, because obviously when you go to doctors, I'm a physician, board certified family medicine physician. I absolutely know that we have prescriptions that we write for anxiety, for
mhm,
depression. And yes, these are chemical imbalances, and even sometimes a small and chemical imbalance, because a shift in chemicals can happen just from you getting angry. So those are all chemical shifts. And some
yeah,
people have bigger battles with that than others. And we're not ignoring the fact that
mhm,
um, medication has its place when things get to a place where they're dangerous and uncontrolled. But we want to empower people to know that, what are the things that I can do? Don't feel like you don't have the power to do
mhm,
things as well that are right at your fingertips,
yeah,
things that you can bring into your own life, and do them on a routine basis, because we do something now and then we say, well, it's not working. It's got to
mm,
be a routine. Just like opening up a pill bottle and taking it every day is a routine. This stuff is routine as well.
yes,
These
yeah,
therapies are routine as well. Walking outside in the grass and the ground is a routine as well.
mm,
Having sunshine on your face gives you the transition of vitamin D, which is implicit in your mood and depression. So
mhm,
all of these things are important for a reason.
yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about social support and how that has an impact for you and your clients?
Absolutely. If do you mind if I kind of elaborate on the last?
Please,
You
please
know, I just
give us some of your own personal, if you don't mind sharing.
yeah, I just, you were talking about connection with God, and I just feel like creation is where we started, out in creation, right? And as we have evolved as a race, a human mankind, we have cut ourselves off, right? We build these beautiful homes. I love a beautiful house, don't get me wrong.
Right,
But
right.
then we close ourselves off. We're in these houses, we're watching television, we're doing all the things inside these walls,
Right.
you know? And I feel like, a lot of, stress, health issues like you share comes from the disconnect.
Right.
And I look forward to the day when doctors, you know, I shouldn't say regular, but I love what you do, Dr. Monica. You consider the whole body, but there are physicians who just focus on symptoms.
Absolutely.
And I love working with holistic and functional because, a client should have a team around them,
Absolutely.
not just one person prescribing medication. That's my own personal belief there and opinion. But what about, writing a prescription for a walk in the park, or go visit a waterfall, or, go hug a tree,
Yeah.
take 30 minutes just to sit and do nothing every day, those types of things that can really have a really positive impact on your stress levels, and just your overall well-being. And I think it's so important to get outside, to get outdoors. I cannot, state that enough. You'll always see me sharing and hear me sharing and posting on my social media about being outside because I think, like you, that is where we connect with God, and that's where our healing on so many different levels come from. And whether that is in the grass, walking in some sand on the beach, you know, just
Yeah.
go to whatever lights you up. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I definitely wanted to share that because I am definitely in agreement with you there.
Yeah.
As far as social community is so important.
Hmm.
Um, who we spend our time with matters,
Yes.
right? I don't know, you can, if you're in touch with yourself, your body, you can feel the energy of other people. We touched on that a little bit earlier. You alluded to that. It's like, just like trees, water, the energy there, we carry this energy as well.
Yeah.
And you can spend time with people and feel completely drained. Like they just take up all your space. They take up all the room, the air in the room,
In the room.
right? It's just like, oh my God,
Right.
Now we need to love those people. We need to take care of them, but we might need to limit our time with them,
Right.
for our own well-being. But
Yeah.
having people around you who are like-minded and supportive, we're here to lift each other up. We want to take better care of ourselves. Let's do this together. Oh my
Mhm.
God. I mean, you just feel like there's nothing you can't do. But when you're alone doing it can be really difficult. It can be challenging. So community, I think, is very, very key.
Yeah. You remind me of a statement that my pastor in Houston, Pearland, Texas, he always reminded us that it's really difficult for you to be in relationship with people who are sicker than you are well.
Mm,
And so it doesn't mean that you don't have those people in your life, but it is very difficult and dangerous to
mhm,
be in relationship with people who are sicker than you are well. And
yeah.
that means that you have to be able to identify how well you are.
Mhm,
It's not about pointing fingers. It's about saying, if I'm not strong enough
yeah.
to help this person out, then I do more harm
Thank
being with them because then I
you.
collaborate on their negativity instead of being able to lift them up and out.
Right.
There may be somebody else who is and who can. And so
Mm,
that's for that person is where they need to be in that realm, in that therapy. But
yep.
for you, you got to know what is healthy for you, and then keep those communities around you building you up, and you building
Yes.
each other up. And for those people who are in your life who are sicker than you are well, encouraging them to get in front of someone who is well able, who can help them,
Right.
such as going into therapies, going into counseling, with, people like myself and yourself, who can really support that, getting them involved with their church or their place of spiritual growth, because
Yeah.
those things can really help to build those areas that are harder and sicker. So that's really, really important.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Journaling is so important, as well,
Yes.
to write these things down. I believe,
Mm.
Tamiko mentions that as well, even talking
Yeah, I
with
saw
someone,
that.
thoughts out on paper. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What if you have no one? If you
Yeah.
have no one, stress can be very much treated just by taking out something and writing a journal,
Writing down.
writing it down,
Yep.
writing it down.
Yep.
You were mentioning the outdoors, and the outdoors are so important. I have a case study of a client of mine who could not lose weight, because this is not
Mhm.
just always about depression. Like, she couldn't lose weight, and she was at
Yeah.
every boot camp. She was the first one there and the last one to leave. She worked out all the time. She worked on her diet, but she could not relieve. She couldn't lose this weight. Now,
Yeah.
she's a professional, so she was working all the time, taking care of everybody and her home, her family. Couldn't lose the weight. And what I ended up doing was prescribing her, you have to go on vacation. She never went on vacation. I literally
Mhm.
prescribed her a vacation, solo, by herself,
Yes.
and go and take care of yourself for a week.
Mm-hmm.
She eventually did this, came back, started losing the weight. The weight
Wow.
started coming off. Her stress level was different. We found that through our testing with her, she was dealing with autoimmune issues. Her
Mm.
levels became better. Her blood sugars been better. And this is a continuum. So the continuous prescription is that, hey, listen, it's been 3 months. It's time to go again. So know
Yeah.
that these things have to keep on happening for them to be effective. But I have to absolutely prescribe people that it's time to take a break, to go
Mm.
outside, to do things, because those things are as important, if not more important, than a pill. So
Yeah.
very, very important.
Yeah.
So for me, I wanted to kind of just, talk personally about why I do the work that I do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Throughout my life, been through many things. I've been through divorces. I've been through losses. I've moved jobs. Um, and I've really had a lot of pleasant things to happen, but I've also had a lot of very stressful relationships that I've gone through, and um, to the point where sometimes my health has even been challenged in it. When I was at my job before I walked away from corporate medicine to open up my private practice, I began having issues with memory. I had a case of shingles, which, for a younger person, that was unheard of. I literally
Mm.
had a backache, and ended up
Mhm.
finding out for myself that I had actually had a mild case of shingles. These are all manifestations of stress. Um, Health issues can definitely be a manifestation of stress. I suffered with migraines as a youth, that absolutely went away after, leaving home and getting out on my own. No medications did that. I suffered with fibroids. Fibroids are another manifestation of stress. African American females are more likely to have fibroids. It's because I went to a Chinese doctor and did work with acupuncture and healing, and really learned about what fibroids really come from, is really accumulation of pent up stress and pent up energy that I just had not acknowledged.
Mhm.
And so a lot of the things, endometriosis and all these things, can be made worse when you're not having outlets for your stress. So
Mhm.
this is a really personal thing to me, because I have to maintain and monitor my own stress levels to make sure that they don't control me. I control them, so that
Mhm.
I can live a healthy life, as well as show that as an example to my clients. Any For you, are there any personal things that made you kind of really seek out this type of work?
Absolutely. It's so interesting. Our lives kind of mirror each other a little bit there. I also, you know about my endometriosis. That started at a very, very young age. But I wasn't diagnosed until I was in college. But then, even with that, with the diagnosis, the treatments were not helping. I would end up having to have surgery. In between, endometriosis is a beast. It always comes back.
Yeah.
And I tried acupuncture as well. I saw an iridologist and
Yeah.
herb, chiropractic treatments, a lot of different things I tried.
You will just
Um,
what's an iridologist, just for our audience who may not know what an iridologist is?
Oh, okay. So iridologists, they look at the eyes, just like reflexologists, the feet. The iridologist looks at the eyes and it tells them what's going on in different parts of the bodies. And that was really interesting for me to
Yeah.
experience that. Um, and then also with the endometriosis later on, when I was ready to start trying to have children, I was not able to. So
Mhm.
that led to infertility, the stress of being a purpose-driven woman, working at the time, working full time. My husband and I ended up adopting. So, the whole thing, stress around that thing. I ended up with shingles as well.
Mhm.
And in 2010, I had a seizure. And I'll make this really quick because I know we need to wrap things up. But I was, serving, doing the things in church and outside of church, just doing a lot.
Mhm.
And I remember falling over in this girl's lap at church, and
Wow.
that was it. I was, foaming at the mouth, the whole nine. And woke up in the ambulance. They were sticking an IV in me. I had no idea, you know, what
Where
had transpired. Yeah, and I had never had a seizure before. And when I went to the neurologist, they did the MRI, the tests and everything, and she basically said that the underlying causes of my seizure were sleep deprivation and stress.
wow. Wow.
Yeah, and so the first appointment, she wrote me a prescription for Lamictal.
Mhm.
And when I got, that was like 500 pills in a bottle. She wanted me to take them every day. And I said, well, and the side effects for the Lamictal, I was like, are you kidding?
Right.
Like, this
Right.
doesn't make sense. Like, why would I do this?
Right.
And so I told her, I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reduce the stress in my life and I'm going to get more sleep. How about I start there? And see where that goes. And that's when I started seriously juicing, trying to eat better, exercising the whole nine, sleeping and meditating, all those things.
Yeah.
And I did good. I did great. And for two years. And then I had the second one because I started my event planning business. I was still working full time, still doing
All
too
the
much. I went back to it,
yeah.
right? And God was like, no. So I was at a wedding. I was doing the wedding rehearsal the night before the wedding and woke up in the hospital. So that was
Wow.
the second seizure. So I know the things that, stress, illness, those things, how it impacts your body. And it just makes me, you know, it brought me to this place and makes me want to talk more and more about it and share with women just to take better care of ourselves, our whole selves, right?
Whole self. No,
Our
I believe
whole.
that testimony. So many times that things have happened in our lives that really were transformative, and we have to learn from them. And having body physical manifestations of those stress is a perfect way for you to be stopped in your tracks and say you got to do something different. You got to
Yeah.
do something different. Um, a lot of times when women go through menopause, I work with a lot of women who start having anxiety and having these things. And so you have to be very mindful that when your body does that direct change and shows you something different,
Yeah.
that's when you stop. And if you can't figure it out, seek out some help, some assistance
Mm,
from someone to figure out what's going on. And as a board certified family physician, the first thing when you go to a conventional physician, as I say, we will want to give you a medication. But that was what is so important about how I've always practiced medicine, is that medicine is not the first thing that we need to be looking for. We need to be looking at the root cause of what it is. We're gonna close out, but I want to share with you some resources for our community that's watching. There is a book called The Sacred Pampering Principles. It's the African American Woman's Guide to Self-Care and Inner Renewal. It's by Debrina Jackson Gandy. I tell a lot of clients about this. This book was transformative to my life when I was initially going through trying to figure things out. And it's not the pampering principles were not about where to get your nails and your toes done, even though those are great things to do. But pampering principles and learning about joy and what real things you can do to make yourself content and happy are key to really moving forward in life in a healthy way and really bouncing back from stress and adversity, because we can do it. We have the tools to do it. And it's no shame in getting assistance and help to do that. Now, I want to share before we leave a couple of things. Rochelle has an amazing coloring book that I want to share with you, and I'm going to show it on the screen really quickly. Now, Rochelle, is an amazing project that you have done. This project is amazing. This book is amazing. This book is available on Amazon, so I want everybody to go get a copy of this book. We actually are going to be once again partnering with Rochelle here at Deep Rooted Health. We want to really give people different avenues to deal with their stress. We're going to be having a coloring book coloring party. You heard about the paint party, the paint and sip. You've heard about all of those things. We're going to cut, because there is therapy in coloring. You don't even have to be good. You don't have to be good at it. You ain't have to stay in the lines, but it's therapy in just taking time and spending time, just first of all, looking at something beautiful that represents yourself. But also just taking that hand and to the paper and being creative. So Rochelle, do you have anything to say to anything additional about your beautiful artwork and your beautiful project that you developed?
I mean, you just said it all. I mean, it was definitely, yeah, made with Meraki, just love and passion, and I hope it helps a lot of women.
Wonderful,
Yeah. And
wonderful.
anybody who goes out and gets the book.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll
Yeah.
be announcing when we're going to have the class. We'll also be reminding you where to get that book on Amazon when we announce the class, and give you plenty of time to get your books before you come in. If you're in the Atlanta area, you all are free to come in, and maybe we'll even have a virtual party as well on that same day. So we have people tuning in. I see people tuning in from all over different states, and so you can get that book, and we can get you involved, and we can have a virtual party with that occasion. So we're excited about that. Now, one more thing, Rochelle is also having a wellness retreat in May. Now, she is doing something absolutely super special, and I'm super excited that she's willing to do this for you all. She's having a wellness retreat in Aruba. And I'm going to put up the flyer, but this wellness retreat has closed. So this is a one night only special that Rochelle is offering us, because really it's closed to the public right now. But Rochelle is offering, if you register tonight for her retreat, because like I said, the rooms are closing as we speak, she is giving a discount of $250 off her retreat for anyone who uses the promo code resilience 250 resilience 250. And I want to share with you just really quickly that that flyer. This is a beautiful, beautiful event. Expect. You want to tell them a little bit about your event and what they can expect?
Absolutely. As Dr. Monica said, we will be going to Aruba, which is known for wellness, and it's called the One Happy Island. The people there are so happy, but lots of sunshine, lots of sand. We're going to be partnering with some of the local health coaches there, and we'll be doing gut and mind connection out on the beach, learning how to make sauerkraut, probiotics, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for the body. Yes, we'll be doing some detox and rejuvenation, juicing, a lot of different things. We'll also be talking about brain health and just holistic living and how to have that kind of a lifestyle where you're thinking about your whole self, not just the foods you eat, but also, just holistically relationships, your surroundings, how you keep your house. Are you organized? Are things cluttered? Because that contributes to our stress and well-being as well. It's an intimate group of women who are also looking to take better care of themselves. We'll have lots of free time, spa treatments for VIP if you're interested, or you can book your own, spa treatment. So there's a lot going on. We're staying at the Embassy Suites, which is right on Eagle Beach. It's the number one beach in Aruba and number two in the world. So we're very, very excited.
All right. So Tamiko says she wants to go. So Tamiko, you deserve to go. Tamiko
Come
needs
on, Tamiko.
Tamiko deserves to go. Tamiko, I definitely write a prescription for you to do this. You
Come
need
on.
to be there. So wonderful. Tamiko says, I want to go. Who
We
else
want
wants
you
to
to
go?
go.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So this is wonderful. I am super excited and very proud of Rochelle and the work that she is doing for the community, and look forward to partnering with her more in the future. She's here in the Atlanta area. Rochelle, you want to tell them how they can get in touch with you?
Absolutely. I am still building out my website, but it is Meraki. I think I can put the link somewhere. Meraki, Meraki, holisticwellness.com. At least I can capture your information. You can go there and put your email address in.
And go ahead.
Or,
Give me that link one time. I'll try to get it. Type it in.
okay, Meraki, Meraki, holisticwellness.com. And also, if you're interested in future retreats in Costa Rica, we're going to Anguilla. We got several places lined up, and we'll be doing some local, domestic here in the United States as well. You can go to Mind Body Fit. That's Mind with a Y, bodyfit.com, and put your information in, and we'll make sure you get the heads up as we're planning the retreats.
Absolutely, absolutely. I am going to miss this retreat, but I probably will not miss another. We are supporting her. We're sending some well wishes and some gift packages along to all of the
Yes,
participants there, and we're excited to be a supporter of this retreat. So you guys get on board, get on board, get on board. Now, I can't leave y'all without giving you all a Deep Rooted Health special as well. So we at Deep Rooted Health are super excited that we do hold mindfulness classes here, meditation classes, and yoga classes now. And one of the things that really gets people going with our yoga classes is, man, but I can't get there all the time because of Atlanta traffic. Well, we are launching not only our yoga classes, but we are launching them virtually. So I want to give you all the opportunity to buy one class and get one free. So let me show you exactly where the code is for. She doesn't want to help us work for it. Let's see here. So technology work with us here, but to make us great tonight. Technology doesn't want to make us great tonight, but we are absolutely excited about our buy one, get one free class that we're having now virtually. The class. So technology doesn't want to make us great tonight, but that's okay. You all know that we are having our Zen Flow class, and it is virtual now. And so virtual means that you will be able to attend a yoga class, a mindfulness class, and a meditation class. Buy one, get one free. You buy a class, we give you one class, and that's going to be through the end of April. So, but get on board, because all of us need a break, a time away, and you can get that break even in the comforts of your own home. So just offer that to you. Well, that's the end of our hour. I want to be always mindful of your time. I want to thank with my whole entire heart, Michelle Hall. She is just an angel, and I have enjoyed our conversations here. You all, please, 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 please look up her services. We will post in our replay her information on how to contact her. You have till tonight to take advantage of her Aruba retreat, her wellness retreat. So don't miss out on the Resilience 250 code, because you want to make sure that you get an opportunity to go and get some time for yourself to revive, rejuvenate, and to leave that stress behind. Rochelle, thank you so much for tonight. I really, really appreciate you joining us tonight. And this won't be the last time. We'll see you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was my pleasure, my friend. Till next time.
All right.
Thank you all for coming, and we will see you next month on Talk Ed Tuesday with Deep Rooted Health and Wellness Med Spa. We're here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. We are located in Lawrenceville on Hurricane Shoals. You can find us at www.deeprootedhealth.org. You can find us on Instagram at Dr. Monica Deep Rooted Health. You can find us here on YouTube. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are growing our YouTube channel. It's Deep Rooted Health _ Dr. Monica. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're everywhere, and also on LinkedIn. So please, please, please join us, and please take care of yourself. Yours in health and wellness. I'm Dr. Monica. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.